Fernando Torres was one of the deadliest strikers in Spain's history, but many people do not understand how he suddenly lost the ability to score. Let's find out what happened. In 2001, a 17-year-old Torres made his first team debut with Atletico Madrid, and for the next 6 years, he would score 75 goals in 174 league appearances for the Spanish outfit. More importantly, his efforts helped the club to secure promotion to La Liga. By 19, Torres was already the club's captain. He was a folk hero and Atletico's native son, but still an unpolished gem. Despite such prolific contribution, it was not until Torres joined Liverpool in 2007 that he became feared as the hottest striker in the world. After signing from his boyhood club Atletico Madrid for a club record fee of £20 million, Torres was handed the number 9 shirt vacated by Anfield legend Robbie Fowler, and he did not disappoint. Fernando Torres became Liverpool's first player since Robbie Fowler to score more than 20 league goals in a season, and also became the fastest player in Liverpool history to score 50 league goals. Torres used his pace and vision to get behind defenders. In his 4 seasons at the club, Torres scored 65 goals in 102 league appearances, but despite such an incredible goal-scoring rate, something was missing for Torres at Liverpool: trophies. Although the Spaniard had finished 3rd in the Ballon d'Or race in 2008, won the European Championship with Spain, and racked up individual awards, silverware eluded him at Liverpool. Also, Torres' injuries had become more frequent, and there were growing concerns about his sharpness after his former manager, Rafa Benitez, had given way to the new manager, Roy Hodgson. After scoring 33 goals for Liverpool in 46 appearances, Torres could only manage 17 goals in 38 appearances the following season due to frequent injuries. The rumors had also started to grow that Chelsea wanted the striker. Although Fernando Torres denied wanting to leave Merseyside and stated his commitment to the club, he eventually handed over a transfer request to join Chelsea for £50 million in January 2011, and that was the beginning of his problems. Liverpool had lost their adopted son to the Premier League rivals, and fans who had adored Torres for so long were unforgiving afterward. Torres had already suffered from persistent hamstring injuries in the spring of 2010 and undergone surgery for a knee injury, rushing to be fit for the World Cup. During and after the World Cup, which he won, Torres struggled to find form, and by then, Liverpool's leadership had changed hands. His eagerness to win club trophies and a messy relationship with Liverpool's new leadership led to a nasty divorce with the club, and Torres was on his way to Chelsea. But it was almost impossible for anyone to predict what would happen to Torres at Chelsea. Fernando Torres became a shadow of himself, and that is putting it lightly. The £50 million striker went on a run of 24 games without a goal and totally lost confidence in himself. At Liverpool, he was taking over 4.2 shots per 90 minutes and converted at 22% in his last season, but there was a persistent decline to as slow as 2.2 shots in 90 minutes, and his conversion rate halved. He attempted fewer dribbles as well. His first touch was sloppy, his movement was often lethargic, and his agility seemed reduced. Torres sometimes took too long in his build-up play, took too many touches on the ball, and hesitated when making decisions. Despite only being 27, the Spaniard looked like a player that was past his physical peak. What exactly happened to Torres? How did he suddenly lose the ability to score? We could point out some theories. Hefty price tag. In the past, we have seen many players struggle to cope with huge price tags after a transfer. For Torres, the pressure was even more considering that Chelsea paid a record-breaking fee for his transfer at the time. Recurrent injuries. No doubt, injuries stopped Torres from getting back into his best, and starting on the bench might have made things a little harder. He could no longer beat defenders easily like he did before because injuries had slowed him down. At Liverpool, the team was built around Fernando Torres' pace, and once he lost it, every other thing fell apart. But according to some, Torres lacked effort. Lack of effort. There was a feeling that Torres wasn't pushing himself hard enough. Even towards the end of his stay at Liverpool, there was an increasing unwillingness to chase passes from teammates, and he was engaging in constant arguments with the refs. At Chelsea, former legend Ruud Gullit explained that the Spaniard was not eager to get more involved at Chelsea and wasn't showing much interest. At some point, Torres seemed to have given up on ever knowing how to score again. At Liverpool, the team was built around him, but at Chelsea, there was stiff competition, and Torres did not seem to be used to that. Different playing style. Others believe that Fernando Torres was not suited for Chelsea's playing style, as he wasn't able to get the space he was accustomed to getting at Liverpool, and the presence of Didier Drogba didn't give him the continuity that he would have desired. Liverpool often relied on counter-attack, and Torres had Gerrard or Alonso to release him quickly with defense-splitting passes. Chelsea held the ball more and required a focal point like Didier Drogba up front. Also, Chelsea's constant change of managers did little to help the struggling striker. The constant tactical changes that were taking place at Stamford Bridge didn't help the striker to find his rhythm. Psychological problems. Finally, psychological problems might have also contributed to the Spaniard's decline. Often reminded by the press that he wasn't the same player anymore and losing confidence from his own teammates, both events could have taken their toll on Torres, who took 15 hours to score his first Chelsea goal. Torres admitted that he had lost faith in himself, and even though he scored 45 goals in 172 appearances for Chelsea, he was nowhere near close to the sublime specimen he once was. Although Fernando Torres got the medals that he desired at Chelsea, winning the Champions League, Europa League, and FA Cup, he only played a peripheral role for the team. Still, everyone remembers his famous goal against Barcelona at the semi-finals of the 2012 Champions League that ensured Chelsea qualified for the final. During his prime, Torres scored goals like a traditional striker. He was either getting on the end of crosses, beating defensive lines, or taking on a defender before slotting home. Torres had the speed, athleticism, and technical ability. However, he lost the ability to score at Chelsea. In all fairness, though, Torres had his moments of brilliance for Chelsea at times, but just when he thought he was back to his best, he only flattered to deceive. During the 2014 World Cup, Torres was relegated to the bench and only started for Spain after their elimination from the group was confirmed. It would be his final appearance for the Spanish national team. By August 2014, less than 4 years after joining Chelsea, Torres was eventually sent on loan to AC Milan. He netted in his first start for the club, but then went without goals for the next 9 appearances, managing just 5 shots on target. His struggles were clearly visible. His move to AC Milan was to get his career back on track, but it had gotten even worse, and after only about 5 months with the club, Torres joined Atletico Madrid. A return to Atletico brought renewed hope for Torres. A crowd of 45,000 persons was present at the unveiling at the Vicente Calderón Stadium on the 4th of January 2015 for his unveiling. Now entering into the twilight of his career, Torres didn't get back to his best, but there was a feeling of acceptance at Atletico. He was not a guaranteed starter, but he made many substitute appearances. Torres' second stint with Atletico brought 38 goals in 160 appearances across all competitions. Torres finally retired from football after spending his final year playing in the Japanese league for Sagan Tosu. He scored 7 goals in a total of 48 appearances. Fernando Torres had quite a unique career, and he left different legacies at Atletico, Liverpool, and Chelsea. From being briefly considered one of the best in the world, behind only Messi and Ronaldo in 2008, to having a mid-career slump, which he never really recovered from, it is hard not to remember the player that Torres once was. How Fernando Torres lost the ability to score remains one of the greatest mysteries of modern football.